The way she said that makes me wary. Yes, no shit. Well done, though. If the dream world really did exist, I think the Empire would have put more than one sentence mention of it in their books. Suit yourself. I certainly do not wish to find out. Yeah, this is the Empire, though. They're always evil. That's the point. They're always supposedly, air quotes, the bad guys until... whatever. Isaac and I followed the green-robed figure as he enters the tavern doors. I hang back for a while, lest he think I was tailing him out of a misguided attempt to steal his research. Oh god, we're not gonna fucking eat here, are we? Finally, I make my way inside and find him sitting at the bar, drinking. I sit down next to him and tap him on the shoulder, causing him to spin around in muddled surprise. Oh, it's you. Could you please leave me alone? Is that any way to say hello? I would rather say goodbye, thank you very much. So, how goes the research? Have you made any breakthroughs so far? Breakthroughs? That's not how science works. It's a gradual process, one that takes longer than expected. He takes a swig of his drink, clearly more angered by his lack of progress than he would like me to believe. So, what kind of research are you doing in Icebound anyway? For someone who can handle a battalion of Ferens, you seem to have trouble controlling your own familiar. None of your damn business, I told you to leave me alone! Can't we just smack him in the face and leave? If it was anyone else, I'd call them a liar, but you're not that type, are you, Zoltan? I'm not telling you anything! Extricate yourself from this establishment at once! Tell me or else! Did we get more chaos? Damn straight we did. We got 2 more points. Don't think you can wriggle out of this one that easily. I have a friend named the Guard Captain who doesn't like Imperials of shifty business. Is this your idea of blackmail? You're trying to knock me out of the running, aren't you? Knock is such a harsh word. I prefer to call it a gentle push. If you think that I will give in to your demands, you have another thing coming. Say, I wonder what Torrin would do if I told him about your little weapons operation. Maybe he would raid the place and seize everything. You wouldn't! Oh yes, well you've been the stereotype of all things kind and charming. Why would I? If I was trying to remove you from this competition, that would be a good place to start. What exactly do you want me to tell you? Oh, not much, just the truth about how you ended up here. You, Magistus, you're both Imperials, and that's enough ground for suspicion for me. This is humiliating. Not as humiliating as watching your precious gun get carted away. It's a cannon, not a gun. I don't give a damn. Now sit down and start talking. Fine. The truth is that no one from the Empire sent me to Icebound. In fact, I came here completely at random. You what? Let me start at the beginning. Maybe then it'll make more sense. Oh god, this is going to be a very long story. Sad music. One song ago, Zoltan was alone. Let's not do that. When I said I was a researcher at the Academy, I was telling the truth. Most of it anyway. In actuality, I no longer reside there. However, a year ago, I was one of the Academy's top-ranked researchers. My studies into transmutation research were receiving tremendous notice. I worked tirelessly day in and day out, sitting in my chair and constantly reading and writing. My entire life had led up to this. My passion for discovering the secrets of elemental conversion. If I could truly find a way to create precious metals from mere lead, I would become one of the heroes of the Empire, and the Academy had all the resources with which to accomplish it. Until one day, he met a girl? Sometime during the course of my studies, I met a fellow researcher who was also working towards the same goal. Her name was Cecilia, and while she initially assisted me in my studies, we soon fell madly in love. Yeah, I thought as much. Together, we were close to uncovering the secrets that were once thought to be held only by the Philosopher's Stone. Think about it, the knowledge of the ancients at our command. Of course, things would never be that easy. Who the hell was that shot? Death showed up. One day I discovered that my studies had been submitted to the Academy with another name, a rival alchemist. In fact, all my work had been attributed to him. I desperately tried to convince the board that it was a mistake, but it seems he took all the credit for my discoveries. Are we supposed to feel sorry for him? He's still a knob. In fact, he even claimed that I was attempting to plagiarize his work. I was formally removed from the academy and fell into a depressed state, refusing to eat or even leave my room for an entire month. Well, I mean... all she could... oh, okay. Eventually I attempted to confront Cecilia, hoping beyond all hope that she had nothing to do with it, but all she could say was, "I'm sorry." I couldn't take it anymore. My entire life was in ruins, all because I was foolish enough to place my trust in another member of the academy. It was then I decided I wanted to become more. I wanted to become not just a researcher, but a true alchemist. I wandered the streets aimlessly, searching for my familiar to call it my own. On one particularly drunken binge, I ended up at the Imperial Zoo, teasing a small moo-moo. Unfortunately, it so happened that it was my semi-conscious state I performed the ritual that bonded us together. That seems rather... fair enough, I guess. When I realised it made me sick to the stomach, I had to go somewhere, anywhere, to flee from my shattered existence, so I stowed away on an Imperial airship to goddess knows where. Well, I'm pretty sure I know where. Well, so now you know I'm just a pathetic fool. So he is clever, just not particularly apt in combat. Awesome. Who ended up dumped in the middle of nowhere, using my knowledge to mend leaky pipes rather than research world-changing discoveries. Well, I would tell you to cheer up, but I'd have to agree that was pretty bad. All my life, my parents raised me to put my trust in the Empire and the pursuit of knowledge. A lot of good that did when I couldn't even convince them to see the truth. Well, at least you have a body to wander around with. Hurdy-ho. Isaac, how did you ever navigate a place like the Academy? Again, I still don't understand how he's not hearing us. From what limited snippets I can remember, mainly through bribery and stepping on people's backs, how did you think I would ever keep an experiment like yours quiet anyway? I'm not surprised. I do not desire revenge, mind you. I know that in the grand scheme of things it was rather petty. However, all I desire is the way to discover something that no one else has. And I'm guessing the Philosopher's Stone would be rather groundbreaking. I haven't even thought about what I'd use it for yet. What I am interested in is how it works. If we could reverse engineer its power, the technological leap could change the entire world. Are you sure you want the world to return how it was in the ancient times? There's no use stalling progress, Dougal. It will only create further agony. It is our destiny to advance, no matter if it takes one try or 100. You cannot escape your past, you must face it before you can continue onwards. Right, I guess you have a point there. Now then, I believe you have enough information to trust that I'm not in league with the Magistus or attempting to Misel? What on earth is that word? Mislead, I'm presuming. Can you leave me in peace? It's going to be a long day tomorrow. I should go up and rest. Give the barkeep my regards, alright? Yeah, if I'm sober enough to talk after this is over. Well, no wonder he's eager to work on Roy's project. I'm sure he's found a little in the way of meaningful work in a place like this. Maybe the Academy wasn't just the place for him or anyone. He was interested in research and not bureaucracy. Oh, God, I hate that. It's the way of the world, my friend. One cannot be pure of heart in a place like the Empire. Amen to that. That's why we're evil. The occult is probably what makes him so dead set on enforcing the worlds of Horus as law. Words even. Worlds of Horus as law. That would be somewhat difficult. So, what laws do we have to bind by? Look at Mars, see if that does anything for you. I head out into the cool night air, my next destination, there we are, we got it right second time, being my assigned secret meeting place, also known as the back alley. Hopefully Lamia isn't too busy this time, since I have an interesting idea. Dougal, you seem like you have something up your sleeve. As a matter of fact, I do. It's too bad you won't know what it is, because I'm taking you back to the inn. Wait, you are? Why? That, my friend, is a secret. Yeah, alright, now it's my turn to ask why. Why? I'm suspicious. This is about Lamia, isn't it? You don't want me listening in. Something like that. And he's fine with that. He's just going to let that slide. He's not going to argue at all. Fair enough. After leaving Isaac in my room under the pretense of fetching some supplies... he believed that. I headed outside and made my way to the alley behind the general store. As is typical for this time of night, there's barely anyone around, though I'm sure in Sanctum it would be bustling. Hello, anyone there? A dark shape leaps out of the shadows gracefully, bumping right into me. It seems rather springy to be a monster. Ugh, so much for my dramatic entry. I think I like this kind of entry better. Oh, I was a little too close to you there, wasn't I? Sex object Lamia. Hello. Lamia, I still haven't decided. Stumbles backwards, smoothing out her clothes and regaining her composure. Well, never mind, it seems like you're here early, Dougal. Oh, you noticed? I was just thinking of doing something later on. Doing something? I'm intrigued. Care to tell me more? Ah, but that would ruin the surprise. Why don't we finish this session first, then we can debrief. You don't expect to debrief out here, do you? I'm not sure you're thinking what I'm thinking. Sex object Lamia. It's all about Zoltan. Well, what I found out about Zoltan is a doozy. Would you believe me if I told you he found Icebound by chance? By chance? That's still a ridiculous face. What on perm are you talking about? He'd appear from thin air like a familiar? Well, he was a little drunk, so I can't be certain, but I highly doubt he was sent by the Academy. In fact, he was booted from the Academy for plagiarism, of all things. How disappointing. Actually, it wasn't his fault. His research was stolen. The only thing he did wrong was, well, nothing. That's even more disappointing. I hate it when bad things happen to good... Okay, slightly better people. I'll tell her more about Zoltan's strange story. Diggle, if I didn't trust you, I would never believe something like this. Well, it's a good thing you trust me for no apparent reason. So you do trust me. Scratch that part. I don't think I quite believe it yet. Yeah, you're like the least interesting. I'm pretty sure that Kimka is planning something, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. All I know is that she wants me to enter the dream world tomorrow with her. The dream world? What manner of foolishness is that? Apparently it's kind of like Limbo. Like Neo in the third Matrix. Keeps running down the train tracks just come out the other side. I'm imagining something like that. I hope it's something really dull like that. Somewhere halfway between living and dead or something. For my sake and yours, try to keep yourself closer to the living part than the dead one. You're telling me. I tell Lamia more about Kimka's shame and profession, while strategically leaving out certain parts. Sometimes I wish I knew more about fairy culture. If I did, I wouldn't have what? None of your business is what? Look, don't say it out loud then, you prick. Oh, well. Tell her about Barzul. I'm starting to get a little suspicious of Barzul. I have to ask him a thing or two. What are you thinking? There's someone running around calling themselves the Golden Knight, stopping criminals all across town. At first I thought it could be Torrin, but why would he do that when he was the town guard? Maybe he's gotten bored. It's never the first person you think it is. Well, no, sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's always the first person you think it is, and not the first person who the game/film/book builds it up to be. So it's not Torrin. Well, it's definitely a cause for suspicion. He did seem to know a lot about the Golden Knight. Well, if they are calling themselves that, they must be an imposter. The Golden Knight hasn't appeared for years. The chances of him returning now are infinitesimal. You think he's just a copycat vigilante? Those are the most dangerous kind. I tell Lamia more about my failed monster hunting attempt. So his familiar is a glacier bear. That's interesting. Tell me about it. Why do you have that strange look in your eyes? No reason. Jesus. That should be all. That is certainly interesting. It seems that the alchemist might be a bit more desperate than they were letting on. Unfortunately, I'd have to count myself into that category as well, but there's no way I'd divulge that information. When one has their back against the wall, desperation can lead to unfavourable circumstances. You mean you think Magistus might want to capitalise on their desire to win somehow? Sometimes the means by which succeed matter more than whether you do or not. Then what exactly is he looking for? Honor, patience, guile, or... It seems we'll find out soon enough. Now, Dougal, about the surprise. That's nothing major, really. I was just thinking that we'd do a little stargazing. Stargazing? Is that what passes for fun around here? Is she like in all spy movies? She's like, anyway, God, I haven't slept with a man in like a week. I really need to. Mr. Bond, take me to your room. Nothing, yeah, probably. Have you ever tried it before? Well, no, but you mean to tell me you've never been stargazing? Who cares about stars? I'm much more concerned about things on the ground, thank you very much. I hold out my hand, grasping Lamia's, and she acts with surprise. Just do it once. If you hate it, you don't have to do it ever again. Fine, I'll buy it. It seems the storms have died down a little bit, so it's not as cold as it was before. Lamia and I walk down the road until we come upon the massive town gate. It still seems to be ajar, though the night watchman is standing there guarding it. Is someone outside who's not supposed to be? Alright, it's gotta be either Basil or Torrin. Or something else altogether. Who knows?